Congratulations on getting through all 12 intervals. We have practiced these all the same way, where we started at the low note, and then we worked our way up to the high note. We memorized the sound of that gap. And now we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to start on a high note, we're going to come down an interval, and then we're going to memorize the sound of that gap. This will be way easier than all the work we just did, because we already know the distances, we already know the names, and we already know what these things feel like. It's really only 5% of the work is learning these in reverse. So you've already done the hard work if you've worked your way all the way up to this point. But you really should spend a little bit of time just to reinforce these concepts by doing them in reverse. So what we'll start off with is our minor second. Okay, our minor second is just the 1 fret interval. And with this video, I'm going to do all the intervals in descending and just give you 1 or 2 little tips on each one, all right? So starting with the minor second, if I start on a note and if I come back down a half step, that change is similar to what we hear in Für Elise by Beethoven. Da na 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 da 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 dum. There it is, all right? All right, there's your Für Elise. Now, if we come down a whole step instead, all right, that note right there is Mary Had a Little Lamb. Mary had a little lamb, Mary, Mary. The descending major second. How about a descending minor third? That's 3 half steps. That interval right there, you can compare to the beginning of Hey Jude by the Beatles. Hey Jude, don't make it bad. All right. How about a descending major third? All right. So for a descending major third, I think of Westminster Chimes. You may have heard that song on the clock, all right? It's the clock bell song. It goes... All right, so descending major third. Now, after that, we've got our perfect fourth in reverse. So here is a descending perfect fourth, all right? And for a descending perfect fourth, there's I've been working on the railroad. All right. But, I mean, keep in mind that this is still a stable descending interval, just so it was like a stable ascending interval. So they still maintain their characteristics when you do it in reverse. But it definitely is, you know, kind of saying something in reverse. So you want to practice it in this permutation. How about a tritone in reverse? To me, that's almost indistinguishable from a normal tritone in ascending order. It's just got that alarm feel. But you can think of YYZ by the band Rush. They did a song that started off with just descending tritones like that. So that would be my example for that, is using YYZ. After that, you've got a perfect fifth. All right, and if you think of the old Flintstones theme song, you'll see that that starts off with a descending perfect fifth. Flintstones, meet the Flintstones. All right. After that, we're going to have a descending major sixth, all right? And let's see here. For a descending major sixth, there is a song by Five for Fighting called 100 Years, and it goes, I'm 15 years for a moment. I don't know the words, but that's the melody. It starts off with that descending major sixth, all right? Minor sixth, I'm sorry. And then after that, we're going to have our descending major sixth, all right, which is a bigger jump. And this one is a pretty obscure reference. I've had to teach it a few times. That's why I know it, though. It's Music of the Night from Phantom of the Opera. The vocal line starts off with the descending major sixth. Bum, bum, dum, dum, da, 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 da. Descending major sixth right off the bat, all right? Then after that, we'll go to our minor seventh, all right? This is a descending minor seventh. And I hate to say this, but I literally cannot find one reference for this. I guarantee you one exists, and I just haven't looked hard enough, and I haven't thought hard enough about it. But when I'm faced with a descending interval, most of the times I just reverse it in my head. Bum, bum. And I would instantly hear that as, have you driven a Ford lately? Which we talked about in the minor seventh video. So unfortunately, I don't have a cool little reference here for you other than reverse it. And I know that's not very helpful. But I would encourage you to find one and leave a comment below and help me out. Give me a song that I can use to reference a descending minor seventh. For descending major seventh, very awkward interval. But there is one song that I use for a reference on that, and it's near the end of Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. The vocals go, and have yourself, and that have your, that's a descending minor seventh, major seventh. And just practice doing those two notes, have your. It's a huge jump for your voice, and it's just uncomfortable, all right? But it's a beautiful little melody in the context of that song. And then lastly, we have our octave. And when I taught the octave on the way up, I also showed you Killing in the Name of, which is starts off with a descending octave. And I think that one's simple enough that it's almost reversible. It's like a mirror image of itself, like the tritone. You really can't get screwed up doing it top to bottom or bottom to top. All right? So hopefully that gives you a little insight into memorizing your intervals on the way down instead. And this is basically all the heavy lifting for all of our intervals. I do want to wrap things up with one last little video on how to use this stuff. That'll be a quick little video because you've gone through enough work as it is already. But excellent job making it this far, and I will see you in the last video.